very good evening. Thank you very much for choosing GHOne TV. It's a Friday evening, and as usual, we bring you nothing than the best of stories making headlines throughout the country. Well, tonight is no exception as we feed you with the latest happenings from our political scenes, even as we count down to December 7th. We'll be bringing you some business stories as well as touching base with some sports news. So be my guest tonight as we bring you all these stories and many more. But before we do so, let's look at some of the top stories that we have for you tonight. Coming up in the next 16 minutes, residents of Shabu in Dansoman up in arms against government over continual invasion of their homes by tidal waves.
Enough is enough. 12 years of being into power, 12 years of being into power without doing anything for the people of Ablekuma West. What are you using us for? Are we fishes? Are we fishes? Why do you want to take us to? Why?
Also coming up tonight, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo urges the military to be ready for the emerging security threats in the West African sub-region.
That our democracy will remain steadfast and unshaken. The right to free and fair elections is non-negotiable, and I'm committed to ensuring that the will of the people prevails in every election.
We'll bring you more political stories as Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia commissions first watermelon factory in Wale Wale in the Northeast region. Send Ghana with support from Oxfam champions inclusive and ethical trade in cocoa value chain. Tonight we'll bring you more on the commodity cocoa. So tonight we have these and many other interesting stories, including some sports updates and bringing you up to speed on some business happenings throughout the country. Be my guest, stay with us as we share all these detailed stories and many more with you. My name is Kweku. Thank you very much for choosing GHOne TV. Let's take our very first story for this evening. And here, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is urging the Ghana Armed Forces to be ready for the emerging security threats in the West African sub-region. While speaking at the graduation parade of the Short Service Commission and Special Duties Course 61 of the Ghana Military Academy, the President, while applauding the men in uniform, expressed worry at the increasing levels of terrorist acts in the sub-region and called for collaboration amongst various security agencies to deal with the menace.
President and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, while commending the graduating officers, also charged them to ensure professionalism in their line of work. The 73 graduating men and women in uniform for the Short Service Commission and Special Duties Course 61 of the Ghana Military Academy were drawn from a broad spectrum of academic discipline, from engineering to law, medicine and beyond, bringing a wealth of knowledge and fresh perspective into their military training. At the graduation parade, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo charged the military to assiduously work to address the increasing threats of terrorism in the sub-region and also help fight the illegal mining menace.
The security landscape in our region is dynamic and at times unpredictable. From the threat of environmental degradation through illegal mining to the alarming southward movement of terrorism from the Sahel towards our borders, the challenges are complex and multifaceted. The armed forces must thus remain vigilant, adaptable, and prepared to confront these evolving threats with resolve. I must underscore the importance of the role you will play in upholding the peace and stability of our democracy. In 2 weeks, Ghana will once again demonstrate a democratic maturity through the conduct of free and fair elections. Our urge you to discharge your duties with professionalism and neutrality, ensuring the safety and security of all citizens. I want to reassure all Ghanaians that our democracy will remain steadfast and unshaken. The right to free and fair elections is non-negotiable, and I'm committed to ensuring that the will of the people prevails in every election. No ambitions of any politician or political party will ever compromise the peace and stability that we as a nation have worked so hard to build and enjoy.
From the Officers Cadet Mess from the Ghana Military Academy here in Teshi, my name is Obed Kingaglo for GHOne News.
And right here at the Platinum Place, my name is Kweku. Let's bring you some more stories in here. Residents of Glefe and Shiabu in the Ablekuma West Municipality are relying on hope for government intervention to free them from the continual invasion of tidal waves from their homes. Now, most of the residents have had their homes constantly submerged by water as a result of the waves, forcing some to relocate, and those without money to rent new homes will have resorted to patching with relatives and friends. My colleague Obed Kingaglo was in the area. He's filed this report.
The sea is currently eroding our streets. That's the current situation at Shiabu Dasoma Beach Road. That is where we are now. That's the exact location. Initially, we started lobbying about this thing. That was for 12 years ago. The sea is gradually taking over the land, and nothing has been done about it for the past 12 years. Look at the building over there. They were building all over around this place. The rocks you can see over there. It's not done. It won't only take the street out, but what it's going to do next is it's going to invade into the households. It's going to cross the streets, and the people along the households, everyone is going to move away, because this is nature. You can't fight nature.
With no sign of the sea receding anytime soon, what you see behind me is a road network eaten up by the rising sea waters. Residents here in Shiabu are demanding answers and solutions.
Can you want to feel no benja bachelor Kweku? Can you want to feel benja bachelor Kweku? Be an a toilet here, the public toilet here, say a wash away. It will be an a gutters number for Yamaya toilet here. Be an at a gutters and what MP Baba Kumomachu. Neke Baba fe gutter, a hawa, Naka gutter, be an actual public toilet. One power honorable Osla Fayake. Kaja be an eke ya, Kaji Eba fe sea defense. Nigata and Eba machine, walk a two bar family, walk a gakaba family, walk a bevel to stand the door, Yablekuma West.
A politician said, I'm a pa, I'm a Malio Mambie. But not a Malio Mambie, ever to more, Hemokaliko Bedon are politicians.
With climate change and rising sea levels, the situation may worsen if authorities do not address it. From here in Shiabu in the Ablekuma West constituency, Obed Kingaglo for GHOne News.
All right, so we'll bring you some more stories, and here the National Chief Imam's Office and the National Central Mosque, I beg your pardon, in collaboration with the Nima District Police Command to curb violent tendencies in Zongo communities ahead of the December general elections. Well, the Public Relations Officer of the National Mosque, Alhaji Jibril, disclosed this during a Police Management Board Ketsi call on the Chief Imam Sheikh Osman Nuhu Shaributu on Friday.
The visit by the Police Management Board is part of an ongoing outreach to engage stakeholders and community groups, detailing security arrangements for the December 7 general elections. Leading the police delegation was the Director General of ICT, COP Lansa Idi Seidu.
Take for instance, you have 5 children, and you wake up in the morning, you tell one to go to Nima Market, one to go to Mamobi Market, one to go to Medina Market want to go to Makola. At the end of the day, they will return home with benefit to the house. So let us see politics as business, and it shouldn't call for fighting. Let's all try to be united so that Ghana can continue to enjoy the peace and we can all do our legal work.
The Chief Imam's office and the National Mosque commended the police for the initiative and called on all parties to fulfill their roles effectively to ensure peaceful elections.
The perception about the Muslim community when it comes to elections, the moment you hear of Muslims or Zongo, the next thing that comes in mind is violence. This initiative that comes to our desk today really needs to be applauded by all the Muslim community.
Alhaji Jibril highlighted ongoing efforts by the National Mosque to rally the Muslim community around peace and harmony.
We've created a campaign team, registered entity as National Zongo Peace Campaign. So we are moving from district to district, area to area, to target the Zongo community, to educate our people, to sensitize our Muslim community or the Zongo community on the measures that needs to be taken in having peaceful elections.
The Director of the Police Public Affairs Directorate, ACP Grace Akrofi Ansan, urged citizens to remain vigilant and work together to safeguard Ghana's peace.
The police and all the security agencies, we are poised, we are ready, we are prepared to ensure that there is adequate security for this period before, during, and after the election. We've therefore called on all Muslim faithfuls across the country to come and support the security agencies so that together we can work for the peace of this country.
So tonight we want to affirm our stance as being the best in bringing you the latest happenings from our world of politics. It's your election hub. Politics tonight. Recent polls by Global Info Analytics is predicting that the ruling New Patriotic Party is highly unlikely to achieve its 85% target in its stronghold of Ashanti region as the opposition candidate and the leader of the National Democratic Congress nears 30% support. Well, the poll shows that in the Ashanti region, Dr. Baumia leads with 68%, followed by John Dramani Mahama with 29%. The poll also reveals economy, job, and education remain the top issues in all the regions. Well, in Ahafo, and economy tops with 16%. Jobs and education are next with 13% each. According to the poll, in the Ashanti region, job is the top priority with 20%. Economy and education are tied with 16% each, while in the Bono region, jobs top with 24%, economy 20%, and education 17%. On what single with most influence vote choice in the elect of the polls shows that in the Bono region, the current economic condition dominates with some 35%, manifesto 17%, and education 17%. So very shortly we are going to engage Akbar Yusuf Komini, who is the deputy spokesperson of the Dr. Baumia campaign. Well, Komini, thank you very much for your time tonight. So let me find out from you, what was your initial reaction on this latest poll when you were informed that, look, that target of 85% is highly unachievable?
You know, when I got the report, I said, well, Musa Danko again, because it appears every day he's conducting polls and releases outcomes. I mean, it's quite interesting how he's able to do it virtually every day. And that informs why the figures keep changing the way they are. But the most important thing is that, at least in these polls, it's saying that the NPP presidential candidate is leading in 3 of the regions that he polled. All right? And the lead is quite significant. Even more important is the fact that the factors informing the lead are quite interesting: education, economy, jobs. And for these areas to be responsible for the massive lead in these 3 regions affirms the consistent claims that we have made that when it comes to these areas of our national life, we have done better than the National Democratic Congress. I'm not sure that we would be leading in these 3 regions if we were doing badly with education, with jobs, and the economy. Of course, especially when you recall the recent crisis that the economy had to, go through, beginning 2021 through to 2022. So these polls is also a reflection of our consistent claim that the economy is rebounding, and therefore it is beginning to reflect in how voters see the new patriotic party.
Agba, so let me find out from you. Are you holding the brief now and believing that, look, 85% is unachievable? We are not going to get that target. And it was just an ambitious target that you set for yourself.
So that was the point I was coming to make next. I was going to say that even though we welcome the polls, we do not agree to the conclusions that he has reached. We believe that the targets that we set for ourselves within these regions are achievable. And we spent the last couple of months working so hard to be able to achieve these targets that we set for ourselves. And we do not believe that there's some poll that can dissuade us from focusing on the target that we have set for ourselves. So we still have our eyes on the target, and we're working assiduously. Recently our presidential candidate went to Ashanti region where he spent 15 days. In fact, there are 2 outstanding constituencies in Ashanti region that he will go back to complete. So all of these things, currently the second lady, Samira Baumia, is in the region. Once she leaves the region, the vice candidate will follow through, and after his exit, the president himself will be going to the region. So we're working day and night to ensure that we achieve the target that we set for ourselves. And as I said yesterday on your platform, that the only true polls would come on December 7th. But of course, as politicians, we will respect some of these works. We will take them on board. We'll factor that into our overall strategy for the election.
Akbar, thank you very much for your time tonight, and definitely you should trust that this is the platform that brings you nothing but the best of political stories. Let's still stay with politics, as the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has commissioned the first watermelon factory in Wale Wale in the northeast region. Well, the commissioning comes at a time some residents in the area question the feasibility of the project in the area due to the delay in operationalizing it. Well, there's more in the following report.
The watermelon factory, which is part of the One District, One Factory initiative, is expected to create 800 direct jobs and 8,000 indirect jobs. It is the first of its kind in the country. Speaking at the commissioning, Dr. Bawumia said the facility is a testament to the government's commitment to transforming the nation.
And when you follow all the things that we have tried to do, and how we have been discouraged from doing them, you'll understand me. When we said we were bringing free SHS, they told us it was 419. They said it was not possible, but we made it possible. When we said one district, one factory, they doubted us again. They challenged us. But today, under one district, one factory, we have completed over 150 factories in Ghana.
The Finance Minister, Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam, on his part, disclosed that government, after working to improve the macroeconomic indicators, is now focused on growing the economy.
We've invested 12 billion Ghana cedis in the free senior high school program so far. 12 billion Ghana cedis. That's so much money. We have invested in the National Health Insurance Scheme. We've invested in capitation grant. We've invested in school feeding program. And these are all meant to support the social and economic development of our people.
The first phase of the project is targeting over 2,000 farmers in the Northeast region, which will be put into a cooperative union. The factory will then provide a ready market for the watermelon upon harvest.
All right, so let's look at the other sides of political parties. And here, the NDC's presidential running mate, Professor GHOne Opoku-Agyeman, has urged residents of Yendi and Gushegu to vote for the NDC candidates in the area to improve representation in Parliament. Other than that, Mahama-led administration is committed to creating jobs for the unemployed youth and addressing the underdevelopment in communities across the northern Ghana. Well, she made these remarks during her two-day campaign tour of the northern region.
Supporters of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, welcomed the party's presidential running mate during her campaign tour of the Yendi, Mion, Gushegu, and Tamale constituency. Throughout her visit, the running mate engaged with local chiefs, opinion leaders, and party members to discuss the various policies of the NDC government designed to support youth and women in the area. While addressing the mini rally, Professor Jane urged party supporters to disseminate the positive initiatives proposed by the NDC flag bearer, emphasizing that these initiatives will be honored if the NDC is elected.
We also vote for a leader who will be sincere with us. If there is doom, so the leader will admit and say, I will fix it, and he will work hard to fix it. We don't want a leader who tells us, oh, there's no doom, so, and gives us a different name, as if we cannot even tell when the lights are off. You see the level of respect. Is that the party we should go for? We need a leader who keeps his word. If he's not able to do it, he explains why. At the very least, we all see that he's trying to do it. That is the leader we want. We need a leader we can trust.
At Katenga, in Gushegu district, former NDC chairman Samuel Ofosu Ampofo stated that the NDC will increase the MP Common Fund from 5% to 7%.
At the point in time, the NDC realized that the Common Fund was accelerating rural development, and so jack up the Common Fund percentage from 5% to 7.5%, and that brought a lot more resources into the district assemblies. Under the MPP, they have reversed the situation again, and they have brought the 7.5% to 5%. NDC is assuring Ghanaians that when you vote for John Dramani Mahama and Professor GHOne Opoku-Agyeman, we are going to increase the Common Fund allocation again by increasing the percentage to 7.5%, so that more resources can come to the rural areas to address challenges that are faced by our women and our children and the youth.
Professor GHOne Opoku-Agyeman also met with the Volta Diaspora Caucus, an Ewe group in the northern region, where she highlighted the party's achievement in various constituencies before the NDC lost power in 2016.
Meanwhile, presidential candidate of the main opposition National Democratic Congress, talking about the NDC's John Dramani Mahama, has urged Ghanaians to remain hopeful, promising that the National Democratic Congress will rescue the country from the challenges it faces. While speaking during his campaign tour of the Eastern region, the former president emphasized the NDC's commitment to addressing key issues such as the economy and national development, and called on the electorate to trust the party for a better future. GHOne News' Abdul Hanan is following the former president. He's come through with this report.
On the final day of his 5-day campaign tour across the eastern region, John Mahama visited constituencies including Upper and Lower Manya Krobo, Yilo Krobo and Ikwapim North and South. During his stops, he interacted with party supporters, community leaders and various groups, sharing his vision for the region's growth and his broader national agenda.
Apologize for that loss of sound there. We'll rework it and bring the story back to you, but that will close it for Election Hub. We're coming back with some more local stories to stay with us. It's still GH1 News.
Radio.
Well, thank you very much for keeping faith with us. Let's bring you some more local stories. And here, with just 15 days to the 2024 general elections, the Greater Accra Council of the Zongo Chiefs is urging Ghanaians to put peace above all else at a high-profile conference aimed at ensuring a violence-free election. The council rallied citizens to prioritize unity and harmony before, during, and after the December polls.
Under the theme, One People, One Ghana, the Greater Accra Council of Zongo Chiefs launched a passionate peace campaign calling on Ghanaians to embrace peaceful coexistence regardless of political differences. Addressing the gathering, the Secretary of the Council, Chief Ishak Suleiman, stressed the need for communities to focus on promoting peace over partisan loyalty.
Political party is never a religion. You see, you like A, I like B. What's the difference? There's no difference. If you like A, I like B. Go with your A, I also go with my B. Like the Quran is, Lakum dinukum waliya din. You take your religion, I take my religion. You see, why should we fight among ourselves? When we should have to sit down and then maybe discuss, bring something concrete that will help us to develop. We have to do that.
Representatives of the country's two leading political parties, the NDC and the MPP, added their voices, reaffirming their commitment to a peaceful election for the sake of Ghana's stability and progress.
We've been experiencing so many turbulent situations in various countries outside Ghana. And we don't want a situation where we will also pack our bags and baggages leaving our country because of electoral commotions. So we are appealing to all and sundry, like our leaders also do, calling on all political parties in this country to be part and parcel of the peace processes.
Urging each and every one of us as the elections approach, from the electoral commission, the police, the security services, let me just say, and everyone, it's our duty to make sure that we have a peaceful, free, fair and transparent election. Do not allow yourself to be used to injure somebody or to destabilize the country once again. And so that is my message to every one of us. Share your policies of your various leaders and let everybody buy into it. And so that is all that I'm calling for on our youth. We have a future. Do not allow anybody to destroy your future. Let's try to build the Ghana we want to get.
All right, so thank you very much for keeping faith with us. It's now time to look at the commodities in the country. Our focus is on cocoa, and here cocoa farmers in Ghana face a number of challenges and abuses in their daily operations. Key amongst them is inequity in cocoa pricing. Well, the Ghana Cocoa Board has the primary responsibility of ensuring a viable fiscal regime policy to support the growth and sustainability of the cocoa sector. Well, to this end, revenue is generated from several sources, part of which is plugged back into the production of cocoa. Cocoa Board generates significant funds from the export duties on cocoa exported out of the country to international markets for sale. Additionally, taxes are levied on companies processing and exporting cocoa beans. Beside these, two cocoa farmers are indirectly taxed to generate revenue. Cocoa Board sets lower producer price for cocoa compared to the international price. Well, the price set remains unchanged even in the face of price volatility to cushion farmers. However, this is a form of taxation on the farmers. Send Ghana, with support from Oxfam, is implementing a project titled PVP, Fair for all. The project aims to promote inclusive and ethical trade in cocoa value chain, prioritizing human rights, environmental protection, and women economic empowerment. Well, tonight I have two gentlemen right here in the studio to have a discussion with me. Mr. Isifu Isaka is a cocoa farmer and a member and national president of the GCPP, and I'm believing that the GCPP is he's the convener for civil society platform. That's Obed Owusu-Adai. I beg your pardon, Obed is right here with me. Obed, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank
you.
you.
Then, like I mentioned earlier on, I have Isifu Isaka, who's the Ghana Cooperative Cocoa Farmers Association's lead, I guess. All right. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me right here in the studio. I must say, on authority, that I don't have representation of Cocoa Board here, but need I say that from Cocoa Board's perspective, they've done a lot for the cocoa farmers. Quite recently, we've seen a price inch up. Imagine of 100 cedis for cocoa farmers. Maybe Isaka, with you first. I mean, should this not put smiles on the farmer's face?
We were happy with the price though, but...
Is this the first price that has gone up this year, or is the second time it's gone up?
Second time.
Then I expect you to be smiling as a cocoa farmer.
Yes, we smile though, but looking at the reality, we see that at least the government could have done something better than this kind of increment. We were expecting around 5,000 to 5,500. But because if you look at what is prevailing now at the international market, the cocoa is pricing around $8,200, $8,300, and if you break it down to 64 kilograms, it means that it is around 8,400, and farmers are taking 3,100, which is less than 45% of the international market. So that is where the problem is coming
from. Is this concern representative of all the farmers or a section of the farmers?
All farmers, because at the end of the day, we are not earning living income. And
so
if you talk
ideally, what price would you want to see Cocoa or Cocoa Board pay the farmer here?
The president said 70% of gross FOB. And so if you calculate 70% of 8,400, you should get around 6,500.
Okay, all right. I see Obed Owusu-Adai knocking or nodding to these. Obed, I want to start from a perspective where I have a little bit of insight into the purchase of cocoa for activities. Now, have you considered the Ghanaian producer who probably is into chocolate making, the artisanal chocolate makers? If you peg a price at the international market, do you recognize that it is detrimental to the local farmer?
Well, that is exactly what is happening. The truth is that Cocoa Board...
No, it is detrimental to the local producer also.
Yes.
You want him to... So the reason most probably why the normal cocoa farmer cannot even be able to afford a chocolate bar.
Well, let's look at it this way. Whether you are a local producer or a processor, or you are a foreign processor, Cocoa Board through the cocoa marketing company sells or market the beans to you in dollar equivalent. And so that has been coming here. So whether you are niche chocolate, whether you are Fair Afrique, or whether you are Omama, you are producing for the local market, what is happening is that per the PNDC law 81, it mandates Cocoa Board through the cocoa marketing company to market and trade in cocoa beans, and they sell to local processors at the international market price. So whether farmers are asking for higher price or they are not asking for a higher price, it has no bearing on the processing, the local processing of cocoa beans. So let's put that aside. The bigger issue, as Isifu was mentioning, was the fact that for a very long time, cocoa pricing and the marketing strategy used by Ghana has not gone down well with farmers, or it has not inured to the benefit of farmers, in that Cocoa Board through their own systems said they were going to give minimum of 70%. But as we speak now, they are receiving less than 45% of the international market price. Again, because of the exchange rate and CDs volatility, you realize that the value of the money given to farmers compared to other sub-African countries is nowhere close to what they are benefiting. Let me give an example. When you go to Togo currently is getting around 7,500 Ghana cedis equivalent per bag of cocoa. When you go to Cote d'Ivoire, they are getting minimum of 3,200. That is minimum. They set a minimum price, but you can bargain and get higher price. In the case of Ghana, when the price is 3,100, that is how much we sell. So for a very long time, the farmer has not been taken good care of. What we are saying is that Cocoa Board, as a regulator mandated by law, needs to take a second look at how they market cocoa. The reason why this persists is because they use a system called the forward sales of cocoa. So the cocoa beans that we are aggregating now was sold last year. We did a forward sales, and we understand they need to raise syndicated loan and they need to collateralize the cocoa beans. But what we are saying is that times are changing. The international demand for cocoa is going up because production in Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire has gone down, and the issues of demand and supply has kicked in. So we are entreating Cocoa Board and all the stakeholders to take a second look at how they market cocoa beans, and then look at using more of spot sale as against the future sales of cocoa.
You can talk about the production tax. I mean, production tax and how it impacts the level of profitability that you want to share with us shortly before, so that my viewers would get a little bit of understanding into.
Well, so when you look at the cocoa value chain, so a bag of cocoa, government says that they are not taxing cocoa. That is how the law says that cocoa is not taxable, but they have put certain levies on it. So when you take a bag of cocoa, there is a haulage levy, there is a road levy, and a whole lot of levies that are charged on it. And we are saying that by doing that, they are limiting the amount that goes to the farmers, and the government needs to take a second look at that. And so that is what we are talking about. And I think Isifu can throw more light on it and how it affects their work on the ground.
Okay, I would allow Isifu to get into it, but I want to talk about VAT still, taxation. We're still around that area. How does VAT affect the price of cocoa? You mentioned that it is not taxed, really. Yeah. So where is VAT coming from? Are you seeing anything? Is it hidden in something?
Yes, so though cocoa is not taxed, but if you look at the deductions that the Cocoa Board does before pricing the cocoa for the farmer, it is a lot. It's more than tax, because all the activities that is done by Cocoa Board, they use the cocoa process to do that. So fertilizer input, Cocoa Board operational
I was coming to that. So when they come spray your farms and other things for free, like
it's not free. It's half of the cocoa.
Cocoa so process. Where should the resources come from? Those are the deductions we are talking about, right?
And this kind of deduction likes transparency and accountability. Because at the end of the day,
breathe for that. I mean,
but at the end of the day,
it's solely your responsibility.
But at the end of the day, farmers are not able to account to know that maybe we use ABC amount on fertilizer or this ABC amount on maybe operational cost. So it is just there on the face. We did this, but to account it into actualization, where farmers will get to know that this was the amount put to this was the amount put to this.
But you have a right to information. You are the convener. You